Hello and welcome to Blackpool Zoo here in Planet Zoo. And this is the last of the sort of spate of Planet Zoo projects that we've had recently. And yeah, that's been all we've had so far this year, is just Planet Zoo. So this is of course a recreation of Blackpool Zoo, which is in Blackpool. And we've just gone through the entrance. It's kind of got like a barn, almost like movie studio looking buildings. And then you come out and you've got your first animal enclosure right opposite the entrance, which is the giant tortoise. And to get to the next animal enclosure, you actually have to go through a bit of a walk-through area. So this is quite a large dinosaur area, and it's a bit like the one at Milton Keynes Gulliver's in their own separate dinosaur park. There's like a whole dinosaur area, and this is how you get to the elephant enclosure. So it's quite a large part of Blackpool Zoo is the Asian elephant conservation. It's probably the biggest enclosure, the most well known, especially since recently in real life one of the elephants actually gave birth to a calf, and one of them was pregnant when I went back in 2024. They do have a long gestation period, so the elephant has now been born, and it was a lot over social media, and you can see that I've replicated the large outdoor section as well as the indoor section. That is important. They do have a big paddock as well as the indoor section for obviously when the weather's not as good and to get shade. So you can see the elephants just here. I don't have a baby one in this, but I do have of course the adult ones. And the social group will be fairly similar with the one bull and then the cows. But yeah, I love elephants, and yeah, it is like the signature of Blackpool Zoo. They're on the logo. It's great, you know. And you come out of the elephant base camp, and this is the main dinosaur area, so you can see the volcano with the water effect on, and the sort of crashed plane. So it is actually like a walk-through route around this lake in the middle. And, you know, there's various different dinosaurs. I think in the UK we have a lot of different dinosaur attractions. It's like dinosaurs, pirates and Wild West are like the sort of basic themes. But it's just a lot of dinosaur figures. There's rock work around, and like, you know, like the Plash Crane bits of theming. And yeah, you just kind of make your way through the trees and you'll see various different dinosaur figures. And you've also got woolly mammoth there as well, which represents the sort of different eras of prehistoric animals. So that's coming out of the dinosaur area. We're now going to make our way into the big zoo, sort of zoological garden section really, because that's mainly just the entrance to the dinosaur area. Now we're into the main part of the zoo. There are aviaries. You might not see the same animals that you get in real life in these recreations. We put peacocks into this small aviary, and then there is another larger one just behind it. And the larger one is known as World of Wings. That's the walk-through aviary. There's also these. There are the dwarf crocodiles or caiman, but it's just sort of they've got the viewing window on the way into the aviary. And this is the large indoor, well, sort of covered over space anyway, which you can actually walk through. And we've just got swans in here. It represents the fact that it's a bird aviary, and yeah, this is a walk-through one. And we're just moving along now to the camels, and these are the camels with 2 humps as well that we've got here. Yeah, of course their habitat is, well, I tend to put soil on a lot of their habitats, but it does reflect the desert quite nicely. It's got the backdrop as well, which is kind of based on one of the real buildings, and yeah, the camels are here. And you go past the cafe. I think that's the cafe that a seagull almost stole my entire pizza slice when I was at Blackpool Zoo, because they're more aggressive inland apparently at Blackpool than by the, you know, right by the sea. You have got the monkeys in here. They have these islands for some of the animals, which is all surrounded by water. Yeah, I think some zoos have to work on that, because sometimes it's not the best to have water around the animals. I mean, in the UK with our regulations, you'd think it'd be more suitable, but I don't know. People look into that. They have got a few of these islands, and it looks nice. And you know, the zookeepers will care about the animals, and as long as they're in sort of a safe and appropriate habitats, then that's what's important. And then you've got the porcupines, and I do love porcupines. I've never really heard one make the sound in real life. I'd love to. It normally seems to be the ones with the big noses. These are the traditional ones, I suppose, that you imagine when you think of a porcupine. But yeah, in the one at Birmingham, they're right next. Well, they're in the meerkat habitat, but they deserve to be separate. Meerkats are basic; they're everywhere. You go to any place with animals in the UK, at least, and they have meerkats. At least the porcupines are unique. They're not basic, and you know, they've got their own habitat here. And this is the house that's attached to that monkey enclosure outdoors. And yeah, it is right opposite another monkey enclosure. You can see as well, I've got animal escapes turned off. You will kind of see the boxes, because the animals in the game come in boxes. You have to get them delivered, but sometimes they'll jump out of the habitat and they do have to be flung back in. Yeah, so sometimes the walls might not be the most suitable or realistic, so the animals can still escape, but yeah. And the monkeys we've got in here are the sake, I believe anyway, on the other side of that, opposite the other monkeys. And coming over here, we've got probably one of the best areas of this zoo, the tiger and lion house. It's basically a big cat house. You've got the tigers on the left and the lions on the right. The big building in the middle, of course, split through the middle. I did actually have to, you'll see, I had to add an extra fence on top of the building because the tigers kept jumping onto the roof. They'd go onto one of the climbing frames and jump onto the roof. You can see a bit more of the monkeys there. Yeah, they used to get jumping on the roof, so I had to put this big fence at the side of the building. Yeah, there it is. Here are the lions then on the other side of that building, and the female lion is just indoors here, and then the male one is outdoors. We'll see the male one later on the climbing frame. And there's the male lion seeming to want to dominate, climbing up high there. But yeah, lions do tend to chill a lot, like they'll just lie down on the grass because they do have the same instincts as your, domestic cats. They're just, when they're aggressive, they are very aggressive. But yeah, they are still cats. And then opposite you've got Giraffe Heights, which is the giraffe enclosure, of course. The only problem with this, I should have made the doorways a little bit taller because they are tall, they are tall. But yeah, they've got the indoor. It's quite similar to the elephant area. You've got the bridge that you can go across to see them, from above, and the outdoor bit as well. In this area you can actually stand like on a walkway inside the house as well. And now we're approaching the capybaras as it starts snowing. Yeah, they're going to be in the indoor areas. Yeah, these are obviously very popular animals, very chill temperament, you know, the king of the internet. You might have the lions and tigers and bears as the kings of the jungle, but these might be the kings of the internet, as well as sloths, as well as meerkats aren't really, but you know. Yeah, so you can see the capybaras, very, very, you know, they're just safe around any animal because they're just chilled. I suppose they don't make any sort of movements and they're not aggressive. So you just see them with crocodiles, just chilling with crocodiles. Just opposite that you've got the otters as well. So yeah, they've got their water area. You do see ones, I think there's one swimming and there's one on the land. And then you've also got the tapirs as well, which go hand in hand with the capybaras. Interesting thing about these as well, their nose does technically count as a trunk because it's a flexible nose that doubles as a top lip, so it's just a short trunk. You know, you think of a trunk, you think elephants, but yeah, I don't think anteaters would count because they've just got a long mouth. And aardvarks have just got a big nose, whereas these actually have a flexible nose, so it is a trunk. And over here is the orangutan house as well, which also doubles. Well, it's kind of like an ape house, because it doubles as the gorilla house on the other side. Yeah, the orangutans. I do love the great apes. Yeah, you know, we didn't evolve from chimps. They just share a close amount of DNA to us, but we did evolve from a very similar ape to the chimp. Sometimes I kind of wish maybe we didn't evolve because we've seen how the world is, and you know, orangutans are much smarter. There was one time when I came here that it looked like the orangutans almost developed their own sign language to communicate. And they can learn sign language. They can learn our sign language as well. It was quite a famous gorilla, so you know, smarter and more empathetic than us. But yeah, the orangutans have got a top viewing area and then a lower one as well, and they've got a baby. Do they have two babies? I think they've got one baby in real life. There's definitely a baby anyway, with the orangutans. And then yeah, the gorillas live right next door. Their habitat's split into three because they've got the indoor section, the outdoor section, and then they've got a gorilla island as well. And just opposite the gorillas, you've got the sea lions and the penguins, the sort of aquatic and land-based animals. And yeah, the penguins are here. No one teach Benedict Cumberbatch how to pronounce penguin because, yeah, you can't let that end. It's too good. Yeah, and more gorillas in here. Yeah, majestic. And that handsome gorilla statue turns up everywhere. And then of course you've got the penguins again here. Bit of a closer view at them, you can see they're all undercover. Even though it's snowing, it's kind of more suitable weather for them, but yeah. And here's where you can spot the sea lions on the land. Yeah. Yeah, you do get, I'm not sure about sea lions, you get seals in the UK on the coast, like Great Yarmouth's got an island. There was a seal that just washed up underneath North Pier, and you know, but yeah, you do just get them naturally. You might get otters as well, just in the wildlife. But yeah, we do have good wildlife in this country. We just need to look after it. And this is where you can find the pink flamingos. The symbol of, you know, majestic looking creatures, I suppose. Very glamorous, you know, posh looking. And then yeah, you have got the cranes next to them as well. Yeah, I don't think these are there in real life, but there is a bird habitat here, so the cranes fit in. And then you've got lemur wood, which is another walk-through habitat. Yeah, these are quite common as well, lemurs. But yeah, the black and white ones. I think might supposed to be ring-tailed lemurs in here, but I put the black and white ruffled ones in. Ring-tailed lemurs are the ones that you see loads, but yeah. I think the red ones, you don't see them very often. But yeah, it's a little walk-through habitat. and that was the point where I got lost and couldn't find my way to the next area. But now we've arrived at more monkeys. This is another sort of primate house, because you have got monkeys in here, and then you've also got gibbons as well, more apes. Yeah, you've got another monkey area in the middle, and then the gibbons are just on the far side. And this is where the gibbons live. Yeah, they have a very iconic noise as well, don't they? And the way they walk, they're like little people, but with really long arms. A beautiful woman with a really long arm. Yeah, they love the gibbons. And this is where you can find the giant anteater with their legs that look like panda faces. But yeah, they, you can see them a lot closer there. Yeah, so they've just got long mouths, so they can fit a giant tongue to, well, eat ants. They have a really long tail as well. And then we're going to have a ride on the zoo's miniature railway, which is just sort of at this side. So it's basically, it's fairly near the front now. It's going to take us right to the back of the zoo, next to the children's farm, where the next area, and then we're going to work our way back down to the entrance again and see more different animals. But yeah, it's good that they've got this here. It is a turntable system in real life, but this has to use, like, pieces of track to go round so it can turn. And we've arrived at the back, so this is where the big field area is, where the orangutan house is. It's not too far away. Yeah, the Blackpool Zoo Children's Farm, and inside we've got the goats on the one side. No particular YouTube channel who loves goats. Yeah, sheep have definitely got a nicer temperament now, haven't they? Apparently the way to tell is if the tail's up, it's a goat. If the tail's down, it's a sheep. Not. Yeah, because some sheep have horns, so it's kind of... And then you've got the donkeys over here as well. And yeah, they've both got their sort of outdoor and indoor spaces as well in the barn. And just over here you've got the reindeer. The run reindeer. Rockin' reindeer. But yeah, it's not Christmas, but you have still got the reindeer to see. Although technically at Christmas they don't actually have antlers. Yeah, that's one of the ones escaping and it just gets thrown back into the enclosure. I don't know, it teleports. But yeah, the reindeer would not at Christmas. You know, but yeah, they don't have antlers when it's at Christmas, so we have to say that, you know, Santa's reindeer food makes them grow antlers so they look a bit more magical. But yeah, here's the red pandas as well. There's not Harry Hill in there, but yeah, the red pandas, very shy, very, you know, unique species, quite endangered, and yeah, you don't see them at zoos too often, I don't think. I think they people want to conserve them. But yeah, I don't really know why they get the name red panda, because they're not pandas, they're like more like raccoons in terms of relation. Yeah. And then over here you've got the sort of savannah looking. It's all the things from the Lion King. You've got the zebra, you've got the ostrich. I believe it's the ostrich. We're just passing by the sea lion pool again. And here is the gorilla island. It does look like there's one sort of all cuddled up sleeping down there. And you see another one. Yeah, it's one of the other gorillas. So yeah, they have got the outdoor section on the right, and then the indoor section further on the right. And now we're back by the train station, passing the giant anteaters, and here are the meerkats, again standard animals, but you can see them, burrowing away. You've got the sand, the rocks, standard meerkats. And then this habitat is the aardvarks. They're not drinking cans of Coke. Who remembers that song? The baboons in party hats. It made about as much sense as 60s Beatles music. Yeah, aardvarks, just the animals that are slightly funny looking are the cutest. You just can't really explain it. I think because the features are just so different, and I don't know, there's something about like a big round body and I don't know, like a small pointy head, I don't know. But there's another little bird aviary walk through here with peacocks again. This one's, it's a bit smaller. I don't think it has like the canopy over it, the aviary bit, so it's more of just like an outdoor walkthrough. And into another walk-through enclosure. This is the wallaby enclosure, wallaby walkabout. And yeah, again, just, an area you can walk around with the wallabies. And now we're up to Wolfridge, which is where the wolves can be found. More sort of, predator animals. And yeah, it's another one of those ones, a little bridge, so you can kind of look down on the wolves. Yeah, sometimes they do kind of walk underneath the bridge, but you can see one of them quite close there. here you can see we just went past that row where the lemur walk is, and you've got the emus just here in the field. There is another viewing platform on the other side. Another giant bird. And there we go, been through the final enclosure, and now we're making our way back to the entrance to Blackpool Zoo. So there we go, the catch up of the places that I've visited and vlogged from different zoos around the UK, recreating them in Planet Zoo. Virtual experience. That's it, we're caught up, and it also marks the sort of catching up project of like Planet Coaster 2. All that was to catch up with the places I've visited, and then this. The next thing is going to be Pleasurewood Hills. Once we've done that, that should be it. All the places that I've vlogged from and been to, theme parks and zoos, all have recreations then, the ones that are viable. So yeah, so that'll be the next one, returning to Planet Coaster 2 for 2026. But for Planet Zoo and Blackpool Zoo, that's it.